Hey, Prince Bosco here with another video, and today is going to be another vlog. So I'm going to do a couple quick updates, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about in this vlog. Basically, Village Idiots. Some of season 3 has been filmed, not too much, but it can be posted whenever. October, I'm mainly going to be focusing on just playing some horror games for fun. So I'm not going to be posting anything. My Gladcraft mod review, I will get that out after October. Last Breath, will be hopefully after October. Hardcore, record some Super Mario 3D World. So yeah, that's basically all that really needs to be talked about. And now my vlogs, what I'm going to try to do is try to give them more of a theme. Like most of the time I just talk about updates, but now I'm going to try to give them more of a theme. So basically, this theme is, I just got the idea because it's Halloween, and well, it's Halloween month. I'm going to have a vlog about Halloween, but not right now. Right now I'm just going to talk about something else that's pretty scary. So basically I'm going to be talking about Ebola. And if you've been living under a rock and not sure what Ebola is, basically it's a deadly disease that's going around right now. It's had a couple outbreaks in the past, but this is by far the worst. It's just reached over 4,000 infected, and apparently it's estimated to go to 20,000 by the end, like by November, which I don't see how that's even possible. But whatever. So basically, if you haven't been keeping track, I guess I can give you a little bit of an of what's going on with this pandemic, because it has been, well, pretty much a global threat. Been registered as that, and I've been keeping track of it ever since it's been registered as that. And back then, it didn't even have 1,000 kills yet. I mean, not kills, infected. I don't know why I've Plague Inc. on the mind. I don't play it, but it just reminds me of that. So basically, it's in like West Africa, and I think it started in Nigeria, I think. And basically, it's just spreading around there, and it's pretty deadly, like very deadly. 80 to 90% casual, like that's its lethality. So you got like a 10% shot of living that. Yeah, that doesn't sound too good at all. That sounds really bad. But is it a global threat? Well, it's already been registered, but is it actually going to be a global threat? Will it be a hugely deadly disease? Here are my thoughts. Basically, it's always been a hugely deadly disease. It just never apparently had a big upstart. And I guess now it finally got a platform to put its feet on. And now it's killing a bunch of people. But there's already actually a way to cure the disease on rats, but they won't test on people due to not enough funding. I find that really dumb. How could you not fund this? It's like a meteor coming, and we found a way to destroy it, but we're not going to fund it. It's like, but anyways, it's dumb, but yeah, I guess it's risky, but if I had Ebola, I'd go for it. Like 10%, nah, it might just be good. It might work. But anyway, so basically, I'm not too sure exactly. It's relatively hard to tell because there are a lot of diseases in the world, and a lot of them have the same potential as Ebola, really. But Ebola, its big thing is it's super deadly. But here is the thing about something super deadly. If you ever play Plague Inc., you know what happens if you raise your lethality too much than your infectivity. Basically, you're going to kill off people too fast. That doesn't seem to be the case, though, right now. But apparently we're going to get better containment, so, like quarantine, so that's a good thing. But basically, it kills too fast. Does it? Well, it actually takes up to like 2 weeks for it to actually doing any symptoms, so that is, yeah. But it doesn't spread very well. It spreads decently, but you have to be in like the area of it. It spreads by body fluid. So that's not too good. It doesn't spread by like an animal that we're close to. So I think it spreads by bats, they said, in Africa. So, and also it's not airborne. So it's, it doesn't spread too well, but in close quarters it can spread like wildfire. So also, if you're wondering what like body fluid would really be the problem, it's pretty much sweat. It actually spreads by sweat, so that's the main problem. But also blood. You might figure blood's not a problem, but Ebola kinda has a bad effect with blood. It pretty much makes it just bleed out of everything that can bleed out, even under your skin. So it's not nice at all. But so progress has been actually slow for that. We don't even have any treatment for it. All we can do is try to keep you alive as long as you can. But like I said, there is like a way to cure it on animals. It just hasn't been put onto a test with a human. So technically we don't have any way to prevent it, like a vaccine or cure. But I don't know. So there's that. But yeah, it doesn't affect too well. And also, it can affect you if you put like a sweat or blood or something, like body fluid on the wall. Someone touched it. But it can only really survive out of the body for a couple hours. And you might think that's a long time. But other diseases can survive out of the body, like that travel by body fluid, for a couple of weeks. So it seems pretty bad now. Like, that's kind of pathetic. But that's a good pathetic. That's a good pathetic. But yeah, pretty much Ebola. Is it a real risk? Well, the main thing I think why it was put as a global problem is because not enough people were giving attention at the time. Like, it was just one of those diseases that could be bad. Like, it could be very bad, and no one was thinking of it being bad, or like, it's probably just gonna be alright. But so it had to give it attention, and it has hit 4,000, and 4,000 is a lot, whether or not you compare it to the general population of Africa or whatever. 4,000 is quite a lot of people. And it's just super deadly, and that's the major problem. And it hasn't really spread anywhere. It has had a few cases in the US and like one in Canada. And I'm not sure about anywhere else. I don't follow anywhere else because I just pay attention to like North America. Because I live in Canada, so. Yeah. My biggest complaint is that Canada and the US are allowing people from West Africa to come to the country. Now, that might be a bit mean to just completely ban all flights, but it's like, you gotta keep your country safe, and something like that's going around. You gotta take precautions. You can't just be like, oh, everyone can still come on in. And like I said, it takes up to it could be like 2 weeks before they come up with a symptom. And some people, and the only checkups they really have is at big airports, and they're making the people from West Africa go to the airports, but people do sneak through. So it's like it's a bad idea. Bad idea. I know Canada's trying to be all friendly and like they usually are, but sometimes you got to put your foot down. That's just my opinion. So it doesn't have to be a big problem. It can be contained. It only travels by body fluid, so not too threatening. Like if it was airborne, that would be hugely bad. Like, I don't even know what would happen. It would be awful. But body fluid, is not the best way to get around. It's kind of easy to prevent. Yeah. But a lot of people are taking this really seriously online. And there's even like survival kits in the US apparently. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard. And if that's the case, people are taking this to a whole new extreme. I know people are preparing, and it's always good to prepare for things, but it's not necessarily such a threat. There is easy ways to go around this. It's just laziness, in my opinion, from governments. They're not funding it enough. Like, it's a big problem. And I know there's other problems in the world right now, like ISIS, but sometimes you gotta have your priorities set. And if something isn't directly affecting your country, and I'm not trying to be selfish, but it's not directly affecting the country, you still should try to step in and help out. But if there is a big pandemic, like it's not huge yet, but it's pretty decent, a pandemic as Ebola, then you might want to turn your attention to it a bit more. It's just my opinion, because you got to have your priorities set. So basically, those are my thoughts really on Ebola. Like, it is a scary thing, but it can be preventable in my opinion. And sometimes countries got to take more into effect. I'm mostly referring to Canada and a bit of the U.S. Actually, just as much as the U.S. Really, they both do the same. We're like doing the same thing right now. But I think we should have our priorities more set and understand that keeping your country safe is kind of more important, in my opinion, than other countries keeping them safe, because you can only do so much. Like, you can't just spread yourself so thin. You gotta organize what you gotta do. So, but the big thing is that the flu season's coming up, and yeah, I am not excited for this. Well, I'm not really excited for that part of this time of year, but no one really wants to get sick. But with something like this going around, it's not exactly good at all. So what I would suggest to anyone who's scared out of their mind, what I would suggest is you follow it. I follow it on the Time magazine's website. I just follow it with their they have an Ebola section. I might put a link. I don't know if I'll remember. So I suggest doing that, and also just being very clean and watch what you do, because if you go to West Africa for some reason, be prepared that there is situations going on down there. So yeah, basically that's all I really got to say about this pandemic. I just gotta say though, but like, viruses have always interested me, but if you think about it, viruses have no point in the ecosystem of the world, because bacteria do have a point because they break down things, but viruses have no point at all. All they do is just randomly kill. They don't kill strict in any like pattern that can help the earth. All they do is randomly go out on these huge outbreaks and kill a bunch of random numbers of things. I'm not saying for humans, but for animals too. So viruses don't have any point, because they're not helping anything at all. They're just disrupting anything, or even putting something to extinction. It doesn't make any sense why viruses exist. But yeah. Anyways, that's just what I wanted to put out there. So if you enjoyed the video, rate, subscribe, and whatever, comment. So yeah, hopefully nothing huge comes out of this, but it is a possibility. So just pretty much take my advice, and hopefully you will make it out of this alive. So yeah, see ya. Stay awesome.